So a fisherman was standing on the end of a pier, looking into a bucket full of live crabs as he observed something very unique happening in the dynamic of the crabs in the bucket. So as these live crabs were all sort of climbing and squirming on top of each other, one crab would make a run for it, reaching to the top of the bucket, trying to escape. But every time that crab did that, the other crabs would reach up and pull him back down. So, a single crab in a bucket is likely to be able to stretch and get themselves out of that. However, this phenomenon occurs that, as a crab tries to escape, the others will pull them down, thus causing the collective demise of everyone. So in psychology, this is known as the crab effect or the crab mentality. And it's a way that is illustrating, selfish and harmful, jealous mindsets of members of a group who are going to try to undermine or halt the progress of anyone who is better performing in the group. Welcome to Momentum Live. I'm Brooke Scott. So let's talk about the crab mentality and why does it exist? People with a fixed mindset think that their character and their intelligence and their creative qualities are fixed and that they can't be improved or they can't be grown. So they have a tendency to avoid challenges, give up easy. They tend to think that effort is useless because you are just sort of given what you're given. They ignore feedback and then most often feel threatened by the success of others. So they find themselves with this fixed mindset, playing small and constantly pulling others down as a way for them to stay on top. So as a result, which is just so interesting about this, most people who do this are dissatisfied with their current circumstances and they don't accept the fact that they have a choice or have the ability to create the life that they want. So instead of owning their situation and facing their issues, they actually attempt to reduce the self-confidence and halt the progress of anyone who's showing achievement. And what's so interesting about this is that it ends up actually causing people who actively participate in this crab mentality and pulling people down. They're projecting their own jealousy, fears, and limited beliefs on someone else, which actually ends up hurting themselves because it continues to feed into their own insecurity. There's always going to be someone in life who makes more money than you, who's smarter, who's wiser, luckier, thinner, prettier, whatever you want to call it. There's always going to be someone who may have more success in the field that you're in. So if you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, you're going to diminish your own self-worth that you have been working to establish. And you're always going to play small in life. So it's such an interesting thing. We really have to shift our mindset to a place of abundance. Abundance comes from confidence and inner security. And, as we begin to realize that we are capable of creating our own life and our own abundance and our own mindset, and that what other people are doing doesn't actually affect us. So how can we begin to cultivate this growth mindset? How can we begin to think more in line with abundance? So first, push, don't pull. You don't need to be the crab that's pulling other people down. Instead, be the one that's pushing people up. If you see someone that's striving for, if you see someone that's striving for greatness, push them up and give them encouragement. Learn to live and give and be in service of other people. Consciously practice gratitude. Gratitude is a secret to the abundance mindset, because as you are grateful for what you currently have, what you already have, you are able to see what is possible. Stop comparing yourself to other people. When you only compare yourself to your previous self, what other people are doing, their circumstances are not your circumstances. I love this one. Drop "I'm jealous" from your daily usage. Jealousy will ruin you. It just breeds feelings of hate and resentment. And when you use that in your language, you're telling yourself that you want something that someone else has, as opposed to you being proud of them or admiring what they're doing or even finding inspiration in what they're doing. So "I'm jealous," take it out of your language. Focus more on "you're doing a great job. I'm proud of you. You inspire me." Not judging others, seeing their light as inspiration. Again, when somebody is doing something that points out something that you maybe feel negative about yourself, turn that and find inspiration in that. Learn that you are able and capable of doing the same thing. Life isn't unfair. They aren't more lucky than you. They're just in a different circumstance, or they've made different decisions, or they have a different level of confidence, and you are capable of achieving that. So again, find inspiration, not judgment, in others. And then last but not least, take action towards the life that you want. Instead of being that crab in the bottom of the bucket and looking at other people trying to achieve what they want and pulling them down, find your way, take your step towards getting out of that bucket yourself. Move forward towards the life that makes you happy. Sitting still, complaining, judging, and watching other people progress in life is going to make you more resentful and more regretful later in life. So there's no greater, this is a great quote, no greater defeater of dreams and hope than inaction. I hope you guys have a great Monday and a great week, and I'll see you guys next week.